Alright, hey everyone. This is probably the first video I'm shooting, and I just thought I was going to tell my origin story, how I became a pharmacist. I might just decide to just share this with my son when he gets older, or I might post this, I don't know yet. So I'm just going to talk, there's no script. I'll have to edit everything later to make it seem coherent. I grew up at a very competitive high school. It was had a large population of Asian people from Asian descent, Asian immigrants, or families were Asian immigrants. There is that stereotype of the hardworking model minority. Some of it, there's something behind that. I kind of went in not understanding how hard it is. An analogy would be like, I saw an interview with Steph Curry before he became the champion. And he said, what did you learn from your first playoff experience? And he said, just playing, I think it was the Spurs. He said he realized how important every possession is. He didn't realize like how hard you have to play, how much work you have to put into it. Not that I'm a champion of anything, but it's just you go in there and you had no idea how competitive it is. You had no idea what it takes to get into college, to get into a quote-unquote good college, how immaculate your GPA has to be, how many extracurriculars you have to do, how many things you have to do to succeed. You just don't know, and nobody tells you. And I think some kids, they did have that advantage. Their parents told them, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to work hard, you're going to get straight A's, you're going to do all these things, and they maybe earlier on understood how important that was. I thought it's okay to get a B or a C, as long as I pass. And it wasn't until it was too late that I realized, oh, that's not good enough to get into some competitive schools. I got to the end. High school was really hard in America for a lot of reasons. I was, for a long time, kind of ashamed, because you just think about it, you're surrounded by all these other Asian kids, not just Asian kids, but just all the kids in your school are saying, I'm going to this Ivy League school, this really selective Harvard, Stanford, whatever, this UC school, and I went to a school that wasn't as high on that list. It was kind of humiliating. That's in the past. It's okay. I turned out okay, I think. So I made it to college. I came in with the mindset, okay, I didn't succeed the way I wanted to in high school. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to get straight A's. I'm going to get an immaculate GPA that I couldn't do in high school. And I just put my mind to it. So I asked my friends now who knew me from college, and they just said I was a workaholic and I just cared about my grades. And really, that's all I knew how to do. I think I just felt this sense of loss, and I had to make up for it somehow. Fast forward, I get to the end of my college career. Okay, I did what I set out to do, which is get a high GPA. I ended up just doing biology because that's what I kind of enjoyed. I kind of felt like it would give me good career options. Okay, part two. I get to pharmacy school, and a lot of people, I think if you ask them, and I think there's a lot of content about should you go to medical school, can you become a doctor? I didn't, obviously, but I went to pharmacy school. I didn't do it because I wanted to be a pharmacist. I didn't start out saying this is my passion, but I'll talk more about that later. I just went there because it just seemed like the right balance of something I could do, and I had the grades for it, and if I could get into a school, I'll pursue this. And I'll have a career that I think maybe fits me. So fast forward to when I started working. I think now, where I'm at now in my job, I kind of feel like I stumbled into the appropriate career. I'm probably where I should be at, and in some ways I'm lucky to be here. People complain about their work. I try not to do that now. There are tough days, there are problems, but I'm lucky to be where I'm at, I think. Okay, so back to pharmacy school. I get there and I look around, there's all these amazing, smart people. And I think, oh my gosh, I don't belong here. I'm not especially smart. I'm probably average, if at that. I'm not very outgoing. I'm not charismatic. That's not my game. I don't belong here. I'm not special in any way. And that was kind of my self-esteem problem back then. And it's probably something I still struggle with. I did the same thing I did in college. At the beginning, I put my head, in the books, just try to get good grades, do my best, try to do as much as I can at everything. So to explain how I got here, so I think a lot of people are, want to know, should you go to pharmacy school? Can you go to pharmacy school? And the flip side of that is there are a lot of Asian culture parents or families or kids who feel pressure to put their kids into a quote-unquote good career with respect and everything. Ronnie Chang, a comedian, he had this whole joke where he said Asians, they decide to go to medical school and they have all these lists of reasons: power, prestige, money, and at the very bottom is helping people, if it's even on the list. Right? So I'm saying that, so you're gonna get a ton of people telling you you should go to these healthcare programs for the right reasons, to help somebody because you're passionate about it. And that's true. If you have that, I think you're more likely to succeed. Okay, but practically speaking, I think there's a lot of people who don't do that. So don't say that at the interview. If you go to the school interview, don't say what I'm telling you right now. A lot of people end up there because they had pressure, or they felt like this was a good career, or like Ronnie Chang said, they wanted money, power, respect. And I think that's okay, because what I'll tell you is my first 3 years of school, it was all book learning. I was trying to memorize as much as I could. I felt completely lost. I was trying my best, but it was really overwhelming. My fourth year, the last year in school, they throw you into rotations. You're doing a lot of things for the first time. You're telling patients a lot of in-depth material about their medications that maybe you never had to do before. Not just counseling over the counter, but in AM care, like going really in depth about their diabetes, their cholesterol, and you realize, oh, what I do could really affect a person. And it was scary. And you do it, the first rotation is really hard, the second rotation is hard. By the time you get to your last one, everything started to click. I kind of understood, okay, I go into the ICU, I have a really sick patient, I know you can work them up, and you start to, everything comes together. All the learning you did the last couple years starts to click together, and then you see these patients, and you kind of see real world problems, and it all kind of starts coming together at the end. At least that's how it was for me. Not that I was done learning. You have so much more to learn going forward, but it's kind of weird, just like at the very end of school, everything starts to make sense. All right, so circling back to my point, if you go to pharmacy school or some other healthcare program or anything for quote unquote the wrong reasons, for, like Ronnie Chang said, money, fame, respect, I think it's okay for most people, because when you have the weight of the job, it changes you. When you start to realize how your actions affect patients, what you say or do could affect the outcome of someone's health in a profound way, you mature really fast. I don't want people to watch this and get discouraged and say, I shouldn't go to pharmacy school because I'm not passionate about it. I shouldn't become a doctor or a dentist or a nurse or whatever it is because I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. Yes, these careers are hard, they're challenging, it's a lot of learning, but it's okay. I think if you have the ability to do it, I think the passion might come later for some people. At least that's how it was with me. So even Barack Obama talked about this in an interview. When he was running for president, when he started to realize he might win, he said in the interview he was starting to think about, wait, can I do this job? Can I actually be good or do a decent job at being president? And he said once he got into the job, the weight of the responsibility, I think, kind of changed him. I don't remember his exact words, but the job changes you. The responsibility that you have, it turns you into a different person. Okay, so that's how I got into pharmacy. So I would just add one last thing. I've done stupid things. I've made mistakes in my career. It's not that it's okay. You're in healthcare. You want to avoid mistakes as much as possible. But you're also human. And I'm still here. I'm somehow made it this far. So Okay, so I say all that to say that if there's any of my classmates or people I used to work with or know watching this, then they'll know I did stupid things. I made dumb mistakes. I was immature. I had a lot of learning to do, a lot of growing up to do as I do the job. But I think that's true for pretty much everyone. We're all human. We all make mistakes. But I'm still here, still a pharmacist, fortunately. And I think that's just part of the growing process. So to anybody watching, whether or not you should go to pharmacy school, those are my thoughts on it.